Go back to 14. Let's talk about why the answers are what they are. It says solve x plus 5 equals 49, and then it gives us a hint. There are two solutions, it says. When I have two sets of parentheses right next to each other, what math operation's happening right there, Cole? Multiplication. What do you guys notice about your parentheses? What do you notice about those two parentheses? They're identical, right? X plus 5 and x plus 5. So what they're saying here is what number times itself gives me 49? What would you guys tell me? 7. 7 times 7 is 49. So that means x plus 5 has to be 7. So x plus 5 is 7. How do I solve that? Subtract 5 from both sides. X equals 2. But Ms. Hoff, it says there's two solutions. So what other number times itself gives me, 49? Negative 7 times negative 7. So that also would work. X plus 5 could equal negative 7. Subtract 5, and that's how you wind up with negative 12. Okay? Honestly, did I expect you to get that right? No. I did not. Yes, you will get it right. Okay, what else? What other problems are on there that we need to go over? What'd you get wrong? I don't care if we find out it's an addition mistake, if it's a multiplication mistake. I just want to know that we can find where our error occurred. What other problems from your homework do you want to go over? Nothing? You got this? What's that? You're that smart. All right, you're going to prove it to me. What's your name on this paper? Everything's great, Nolan. What did you set us up for? Ready? This very first one is just like problem 29 that you had in your notes, or in your homework yesterday. For each value of x, determine whether it is a solution to this equation, excuse me. So they give us 4 different values of x, and it says, is it a solution, yes or no? And on Friday's homework, many of you took those, you solved the equation, and then you said, is that what the book gave me? Either yes or no. The problem is with the tools of information or the tools of solving that you have so far, you don't know how to solve this. Some of you might have a pretty good guess, but what we've done so far, we haven't talked about it. How can I ever figure out if negative 8 is a solution, or if 1 is a solution, or if 0 is a solution, or if 9 is a solution, without actually solving this equation? What's a way I could decide whether or not it's a solution without solving the equation? What's it mean for it to be a solution? Like, why would I ever say, yes, this is a solution? What would have to happen? Or why would I ever say, no, it's not a solution? You all did this on 29. If not, then I need to adjust all of your grades to match that you didn't do the homework. So how do I know if a number is a solution to that problem, to that equation? Will. Okay. Normally you can solve it, and you guys know how to solve that. The problem is in this one we don't know how to solve with parentheses. So what's another way I could determine if this is a solution? Calix. Okay. And so when I put in -8 for x, how would I know that yes, it's a solution or no, it's not? I do want to do that. That's exactly what I want to do. But how am I going to know that I say yes or no? Okay, do you follow what he just said to do? So he plugged in -8 in for x. And then he's using that distribution property we talked about. -9 times -8 is positive 72. -9 times a positive 2 is -18. So 72 minus 18 is 54. So is -8 a solution, yes or no? When do you say yes? When do you say no?
No, because it's not negative.
Bingo, right here. In your equation, they're telling you this is supposed to equal -27. So in this case, we didn't calculate -27, therefore we say no. Can I show you something? What Calix just told us, not wrong. Okay? He's totally fine. I'm going to show you. Let's plug in 1. Somebody tell me a different way, instead of distributing, that I could do this. Will? PEMDAS tells you can do your parentheses first, right? What is 1 plus 2? 3. Now multiply -9 times 3, I get -27. Is 1 a solution? Yes, it is. You guys do 0 and 9. And technically, it doesn't matter whether you distribute or you do your addition. Both processes are correct, whatever you feel more comfortable with. Plug in 0 and 9 and see what you get. When I plugged in 0, I got -18. So yes or no a solution? Nope. And when I plugged in 9, I got -99. Yes or no a solution? No a solution. Okay. Good job. All right. The rest of these will be a breeze, I guarantee it. You guys walk me through this. Will and Calix are on mute. They've already answered a question for me. The rest of you are going to take a turn. Okay? There's nothing new about today. Same exact process as everything we did on Friday. So I'm going to walk you through this. I cover up 3x. Somebody by the raise of your hand tell me what I would do next. Grady. I add 12 to the other side. Draw my equals bar. Make sure you're showing work on both sides of the equation. Don't get one side heavier than the other. Who can tell me after I add 12 what I drag down and what it equals? Nolan. 3x you drag down, and what is that going to equal? What's the other side of your equation say? 48. Very good. Okay. Aiden, I think your hand was just in the air. Correct me if I'm wrong. What's your next step? Very good. Make sure you show me that you're dividing. Make sure you show me that you're dividing. Everybody together. X is 16. Nicely done. Nicely done. Nothing tricky. Okay. All right, let's go to the next one. Draw your line down your equal sign. By the raise of your hand, if I cover up V, somebody raise your hand and tell me what they're going to do. McKinley. Add 8 to both sides. Make sure you're showing me that you're adding 8 to both sides. By the raise of your hand, who can tell me what my next line should say? Like Nolan on the last one told me it should say 3x equals 48. Brant? Equals? Careful. Negative 3 plus 8. So we actually have to subtract those. So you end up with 5. Okay, nicely done. I haven't gotten you yet. Who can tell me what my next step is? I'll stick with you, Brant. Why? You're right. Why do you think you do that, though? Perfect. That's exactly what I want to hear. That big, huge fraction bar really means division. We're always talking about the opposite. The opposite of division is multiplication. He is spot on, which cancels those, leaving me 1v. And altogether, whatever we do to one side, we do to the other. 5 times 5 is 25. All right, I wasn't able to fool you. Not yet, anyway. You do the one on the back side at the top, and then I'm going to call on some people. I'm going to give you a second to think it out, though. Spencer, what's your first step on this one? Perfect. Evan, after you add 34.2, what does your next line look like?
3x equals 38.4.
Perfect. Miss Kennedy, what's my next step?
You would divide by 8.
Very good. And Austin, what do you get as an answer?
12.6 repeating.
12 point, should be 8. 12.8. Okay? Because we started with the decimal, it is totally acceptable that you give me a decimal answer. Totally fine. Okay? No one wasn't lying. You guys got this. One left. See if I can fool you. Okay? Alexis, what do you think I do first here?
Minus 135.
Excellent. Subtract 135 from both sides. Who knows what my next line should say?
Negative y equals 86.
Boom, you didn't even fall for it. Negative y, and this is where Miss Hoffs always puts that 1 in front of there. You tend to not lose that negative if there's a 1 there. Can I quit and circle this? Am I done? Why not? Am I done? I am. I'm not.
No.
You're just trying to guess off of me asking questions. How do you know when you're done?
When it's a positive.
When it's a positive 1 coefficient. Do I have a positive 1 coefficient? So how do I make that a positive 1 coefficient? You could multiply by negative 1. But just like we did back here, to get rid of that coefficient, divide. And that's why I just stay in the habit of divide by a negative 1. Because a negative divided by a negative, you end up with your positive. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. What is 86 divided by negative 1? Negative 86. So don't quit until you have a positive 1 coefficient. All right. Fold your hands, set your pencil down. There's about 30 seconds of information I need to give you. Okay, I'm going to retract a statement I made earlier this year. Earlier this year I said, nah, we're not going to turn in any work from online assignments. I'm taking that back. Yes, we are. We're not going to turn it in online, but you are going to physically turn in your work paper for me. So I printed off pages like you guys had last year. Some people requested this. If you want to use it, that's totally fine. It's on the back counter. If you'd rather just use your own notebook paper, that's totally fine. If you'd rather use one of my pieces of scratch paper, that's fine. But every single problem needs to be shown on here. Hey, sit still for just a second. Okay. Just sit still for a second. And the reason for this is two things. I had lots of people like, I just do it in my head. No, you don't. Because as we get more and more complex, and I've said this to you guys before, as we get more and more complex, you're not going to be able to just do it in your head. Okay? And if you don't practice showing the steps on simple things like today's, when we get to those more complex things, it gets bad. The other thing is I want to make sure that each and every single one of you are doing your own work. If somebody asks you for help, you are not obligated to help them. Send them to me. Okay? So here's what I'm going to tell you. When you get a piece of paper, put your name on it and put what assignment it is. Today's assignment is 2-2 online. If you get done in class today, turn that sucker in. If you don't, just bring it to class tomorrow. Not a big deal. Okay? Look at this week, guys. 2-2 online, 2-3 online, 2-3 online. We have a worksheet and a quiz. We are online Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. This practice worksheet's like your quiz, and then you take a quiz on Friday. The nice thing about a quiz on Friday, you have no homework for the weekend. But here's the deal. Start now. If there's something that you're struggling with from last week or today, ask now. Don't wait till Thursday. Don't wait till Friday. This is a huge chunk of points to maintain your grade, or even those of you that want to improve a little bit. When is this homework assignment due? What time? 8 a.m. And what does Ms. Hoff expect you to get? 100%. Here's one last thing, and then I'm going to turn you loose. If you do the problem on your scratch paper and you get it wrong, don't spend the time erasing it. Just put a big X through it and do the next one, okay? People are like erasing and erasing. Don't waste your eraser and don't waste your time. All right? The hour is yours. Go to it.